Welcome back students in science class. Students, in metals and non-metals chapter, today we are going to learn about the chemical properties of metals and non-metals and their uses. So let's start with the today's topic, that is chemical properties of metals and non-metals. So in previous class we already discussed about the physical properties of metals and non-metals, and I hope it is clear to everyone like what is the difference between metals and non-metals on the physical basis. So let's start with the first chemical property of metals and non-metals, that is reaction with oxygen. So student, first we will talk about for metals. So generally when metals are reacted with oxygen, they will form a metallic oxide, and these metallic oxides are basic in nature. So here is the example of reaction of a metal when it react with oxygen. So when iron react with oxygen and with water, so it will form iron oxides. What is the formula of iron oxide? It is Fe2O3. Next example is like when a copper vessel is left open in the presence of moist air, so you will observe that a dull green coating on that vessel, right? So the green material is a mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. So what is that? Like when the copper come in contact of carbon dioxide, water and oxygen, so it forms copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. So student, there is an activity. The aim of the activity is testing of nature of resting. So through this activity, we will come to know that like metals, the oxides of metal generally basic in nature. So what we have to do in this activity, we have to take a spoonful of rust and dissolve in a water. Then the rust remains suspended in water and shake it properly. Then we have to test the solution with red and blue litmus paper. Now student, what is a litmus paper? Litmus paper, this is a paper which is used for to find that a solution is acidic or basic, right? There are the two types of litmus paper, that is red litmus paper and blue litmus paper. So if light blue litmus paper, it turns red under acidic condition, and red litmus paper turn blue under basic condition. So when we test the solution with a red and blue litmus paper, so student, you will find that there is no change in a blue litmus paper, but the red litmus paper turns blue. So it means that if the red litmus paper turns blue, so metal oxides are basic in nature. As I already explained you that the oxides of a metal are basic in nature. Now what will happen if a non-metals react with oxygen? So student, non-metals also produce oxides when they react with oxygen, but in contrast to metal, these oxides are acidic in nature. So you can see here an activity. Through this activity, we will test the nature of non-metal. So what we have to do in this, we have to take a small amount of powder sulfur and in a deflagrating spoon. You can see here improvised deflagrating spoon. So we have to heat it. So as soon sulfur start burning, we have to introduce the spoon into a gas jar or glass tumbler. Then cover the tumbler with a lid and make sure that the gas produced does not escape. Whatever the gas is producing inside that tumbler, it should not be escaped from the tumbler. Then after some time, remove the spoon and we have to add a small quantity of water into the tumbler and quickly replace the lid. So then shake the tumbler well, and now we have to check with red and blue litmus paper again. So as I already explained you about the red litmus paper and blue litmus paper. So student, you will see that when a sulfur dioxide is dissolved in water, so sulfurous acid is formed, right? You can see the reaction also when sulfur dioxide, that is SO2, and water H2O, it forms H2SO3, that is sulfurous acid. So student, the sulfurous acid which turns blue litmus paper red, so it means that what is the nature of that solution? It is acidic. So it means that oxides of non-metal are acidic in nature. Chemical property is reaction with water. So student, let us see how metals and non-metals react with water. First we will talk about the metals. So student, some metals react vigorously while some metals react very slowly. For example, in case of sodium, so sodium metal is very reactive. It reacts vigorously with oxygen and water, and a lot of heat is generated in the reaction. So that is the reason that sodium is kept inside the kerosene. Now student, as I told you, some metals react very slowly with water, like in case of iron. Now we will talk about non-metals. So students, most of the non-metals do not react with water, but there are some non-metals which are quite reactive in air, like phosphorus, which is very reactive, and it is kept in water to prevent explosion. Next chemical property is reaction with acid. So student, let us find how metals and non-metals behave with acids. So first we will talk about the metals. Student, metals whenever react with acids, so they release hydrogen gas with a pop sound. And how we can confirm it that hydrogen gas is released? What we can do? So it is confirmed by bringing a burning matchstick or candle near the gas, and when the burning matchstick or candle it produces pop sound, then it means that hydrogen gas has evolved. Now student, you have seen that like copper does not react with HCl while it react with a sulfuric acid. So students, for non-metal do not show any reaction with acids. Property is reaction with bases. So let us find how acid and base react with bases. So first we will talk about the metals. Students, mostly metals do not react with bases. Some metals like lead, zinc, aluminium, they react with a strong bases and produce compound of metals and hydrogen gas. Whereas for non-metals, reaction of non-metals with bases are complex. Next topic, that is a displacement reaction. What is a displacement reaction? So when it is a reaction, chemical reaction, in which a more reactive element displaces a less reactive element and it forms compound. Both metals and non-metals take part in displacement reaction. Now students, let us understand displacement reaction through an activity. So what we have to do in this activity, we have to take 5 beaker and labeled as A, B, C, D, E. Now we have to add 50 ml of water in each beaker, then dissolve in each beaker a teaspoonful of substances like what? In the first one, copper sulfate and zinc granule. Then in second, copper sulfate and iron nail. In third, zinc sulfate and copper turnings. Then in fourth, that is beaker D, that contains iron sulfate and copper turnings, and beaker E contains zinc sulfate and iron nail. Then students, keep the beaker undisturbed for some time. Now what observation we will get? So students, first we will talk about beaker A, in which zinc being more reactive than copper, so it replaces copper from the solution of copper sulfate and forms zinc sulfate. Now you can see the color when zinc sulfate. So in beaker A you can see the changes. Now we will talk about beaker B. So when beaker B, iron being more reactive than copper, so it replaces it from its solution and it forms iron sulfate. Now you can see that the color of the beaker B, right? Now when in beaker C, beaker D and beaker E there is no changes. Why? So first in beaker C there would be no reaction as less reactive metal, because copper it cannot displaces more reactive metal, that is zinc. So it means that zinc is more reactive as compared to the copper. Now in beaker D there would be no reaction because copper it cannot displaces more reactive metal, that is iron, from its solution. So that is the reason there is no reaction in that beaker D. Then in beaker E there would be also no reaction as iron is a less reactive metal and it cannot displaces more reactive metal, that is zinc, from its solution. You can see here the example of a displacement reaction also. So when a zinc react with the copper sulfate, so it converted into zinc sulfate and copper. So you can see zinc replaces the copper and form the zinc sulfate. It means that in this reaction zinc is more reactive as compared to the copper. Now students, come to the next topic, that is uses of metals and non-metals. So as we already studied about the physical and the chemical properties of the metals and non-metals, now we will study about what are the uses of these metals and non-metals. So students, first we will talk about the applications of metals. So metals are generally used in making of machines, automobiles, airplanes, car, satellites. So some metals it is used for making wires like copper. Some metals are used for making ornaments like gold and silver. Then if you talk about applications of non-metals, so like oxygen, oxygen is a non-metal and it is necessary for all living beings to survive, right? Then some non-metals, it is used for fertilizer to enhance the growth of plants. Then some non-metals which are used for the water purification. Then some non-metals which is used in crackers. Students, I hope the topic metals and non-metals and about their properties, about their uses, it is clear to everyone. Still, if you have any doubt and any query in next class, you can ask. So thank you students and have a wonderful day.